Okay. Hello, everybody. This is David Zieve. I'm with Cranialigt. I'm a cranial sacral practitioner and also or transformation practitioner. We have Chloe Gallaway here today, and she's going to talk a little bit about herself, about her career as an author, about the trifecta of her story medicine. And she's the author of two wonderful books plus more that I've read both of them. This one is The Soulful Child, story of her life and memoir. And this other one, Voices, Women Braving It All, to tell their story.
Yeah, thank you, David.
I've worked with Chloe for years and found her to be an enlightened teacher. So I'm going to ask her to introduce her trifecta, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how our work, my work and her work. Okay, Chloe.
Thank you, David. Thank you for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Yeah, it's been such a blessing to work with you, David, and to cross paths and really experience where our paths do cross, right? Because my work is in storytelling and writing, but really, I call it story medicine because it really is so much about healing the story, right? And healing the narrative to come into the full voice and power of the writer. And I do believe it takes quite a bit of healing to even get into the empowerment, right? And so the trifecta for me with story medicine is that you're coming into higher consciousness, right? The story is stored in the whole body, not just in your rote memory, but in the whole body, which is where your work really interplays because you're doing energy healing work and you're sort of aligning the whole body, right? From an energetic place and a consciousness place too, I think I found in some sessions with you, and we could get into that a little bit if you want, but it's definitely a crossover, right? With the energy body, the consciousness, the awareness, and then in particular, what we're doing is we're learning how to articulate the story that's stored in the body, how to release it, and also how to hold it.
Yeah, and this is fascinating to me because, for one, you're not just teaching people how to write, you're teaching them how to deal with their trauma while they're writing. And
yes,
write in such a fashion that they're healing from it. And as we both know, writing can be not so healing if you don't concentrate on an ascension part of it.
Well, yeah, it can just drag everything up, right? Because
Yeah.
you think about it, if the story is stored in the body, and generally speaking, we just think it's stored in the memory. So I don't want to remember that, or I've compartmentalized it, so I don't really think about it. But when you start to understand that it's in the body, it's in the blood, in the bones, and the energy, like you cannot run from it. You cannot run from it, right? So the process of being able to embrace it and integrate it. So actually being aware of the pain body and the experience and having nourishment and guidance, right, to integrate it, because it is a difficult thing to do alone.
Yes. And in my work, I concentrate on calling in higher dimensions of the client's body, the client's mental body, physical body, spiritual body, energy body. And
Yes.
so those dimensions are all belong to the client in their own consciousness. And the cranial sacral work I do is it simply unlocks their relationship with their higher consciousness because I give them permission to do that. I just basically acknowledge that the healing is there in these different bodies. And and allow them to charge up or supplant or give extra energy to the client's consciousness.
True. I mean, I've experienced that with you being on the table, and I know you, and you told me that too. You told me at one point, because I felt so blessed there being on the table with you and going through the experience where it's not that often, especially being around a male for me, where I'm in that, and I've had some trauma around the masculine, but I've done a ton of healing too. So I'm pretty comfortable in the space with the masculine. But you have an extra really special, is it your energy, your aura, your being that creates safety? And so I would say that is very unique about you, in being a masculine energy to the whatever degree that is, and to being the healer, right? Where in that context you're creating the alchemy for that to happen, in other words, because I haven't had it happen the way it does when I'm on the table with you, where yes, you're giving permission to these other helping systems, right? But I'm acknowledging you to say that would not happen, in my opinion, without you as a catalyst there.
Yeah, I see myself as kind of a mom for the higher dimensions of the client. And in other words, I allow them to feel safe.
Yeah.
In searching, accessing the energy that they get from that's around them on the earth, in the universe, but they're kind of afraid to access them. And your work seems to me to be similar in that you allow the client to be comfortable accessing their writing self.
Well, absolutely. I'm creating the context for safety. And so that's one word. And the other word is nourishment. And I think we have that in common too. When you come to heal at any level, right? Coming to cranial sacral, or, doing my type of conscious writing, you have to give. You have to actually give a lot of yourself, right? There is this point of giving, even to surrender, giving to the experience, right? And so creating the safety and the nourishment, which is the way that we can give back to the client, where they don't feel like they're just giving out, right, and not being replenished. So I think it's a really pivotal point about this healing thing, because I'm guessing that people have had experiences in healing where there is a lot of giving and there isn't a lot of replenishment, right? Or the nourishment where it's coming back.
So this is, to sum up, it's almost a miraculous transformation of the writing experience, because instead of slaving away, trying to break your system into pieces and put it back together, you're getting nourished through the whole process.
Yes. And doesn't that feel better? I mean, just thinking it for myself. And I know when I wrote The Soulful Child, I didn't have that experience, right? So it was definitely a different experience for me and challenged in so many ways. And I'm sure too, for you, becoming the healer you did was for reasons too, of things that were missing and things that you saw missing, right? And so just coming in to honor your gifts, and it takes some courage to step up and do that.
Yeah, each client you have, you learn from, and you heal from. So, well, I think that about wraps it up. I'm looking forward to working with you with story medicine cycles in the future. So.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to being on your table.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chloe. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.